Welcome back, my gardening friends, to another Focal Point Friday episode. On this week's Quickie episode, I am introducing you to my brand new garden planning course, Plan Like a Pro. I've been working around the clock for almost 2 months now on videos and downloads and building an online community, and I want to give you all the details before we launch next week. So, let's get down and dirty. So why did I decide on garden planning as my first course? There are so many things that I could teach and that I want to teach. So why not start with seed starting or how to grow a specific crop? Well, when I was first starting in gardening as a way to cut my family's food bill, I had no idea what I was doing. I quite literally threw a bunch of seeds in the back corner of my backyard and just said, okay, grow. I had no idea how long the plants would be in that corner or how long I had to wait to get a harvest, how big the plants would be. It was kind of a hot mess and kind of a disaster. Luckily, the plants grew and I got a harvest, but it was a jumbled mess. And I'm pretty sure half of what I planted got choked out by the other half. So fast forward several years, and I was gardening on our new little homestead in a much bigger gardening space. I had done some research on plant spacing, and I'd seen some different things about companion planting, but all the information was so disjointed. I had a hard time gathering it all together in some semblance of order. None of the books I was reading or the magazines I had gotten had anything about how to plan the garden space. It all talked about how to grow, but not how to get to that point. So after combining all the resources I had, I sort of had a plan, but in the end, I still didn't have a firm grasp on exactly what needed to go in and when, and how much of it I would get so I would know how many seeds or plants I needed. So as a result, we had hundreds of ears of sweet corn, like all at once, and more spaghetti squash than one family could ever possibly eat. But then we didn't have nearly enough in the way of carrots or green beans. And that following year was when we started our farm business and we started selling to the public. So I really needed to come up with a way to know exactly what would go where and how much it would yield. I also needed to maximize the space I was using to feed as many people as possible and to make it predictable. And so my style of garden planning was born, but it happened very slowly. It took me about 10 years to really nail down all the individual components, and I've spent probably the last 5 years continuing to tweak and perfect that process. I've used this same planning process for my garden consulting clients to help them make the best use of their space and get a continuous harvest, and to know exactly when to plant and how much. I've had tons of people at the farmers market stand ask me how much of something to plant for their sized family, or when it should be planted, or how often they can grow it. And so I decided it was time to take all the techniques that I've gathered and perfected over the past 15 years and put it into something that anyone can use. So the Plan Like a Pro course was born. It takes you step by step through knowing exactly how much garden space you're working with, to determining exactly what you want to grow and how much, the number of seeds or plants that you'll need to meet those goals, and how to fit it all in. I also go through the different types of succession planting and companion planting and using intercropping to make the best use of your space and to help you get a continuous harvest of everything that you and your family want to eat. And we do this across all of your growing seasons, regardless of where you are gardening. If you're one of my colder climate gardeners, I know it's a struggle to grow as much as you can during a short season. So we work on interplanting different crops together to take advantage of the short timeline. For my warm climate friends, you'll learn how to adjust your plantings along a timeline that works best for your weather patterns to be able to avoid the hottest parts of the season when it seems like nothing wants to grow, and to take advantage of your cooler winters. And at the end of all of that, you'll develop a calendar that takes you from start to finish for the entire year. seed starting, transplanting, adding nutrients, harvesting, transitioning crops in and out of beds. And you'll know exactly where each of those plants is going in your garden. So why would you want all of this information at your fingertips? I mean, isn't it just easier to say, hey, this bed gets tomatoes, this bed gets onions, and this one gets leafy greens, and well, that one's just going to be a mishmash of whatever else I decide to grow. Yeah, sure, that's easier. And if that's your style of gardening and you don't have any specific goals, then maybe this course isn't for you. But my whole goal for my garden is to get as much as possible out of it with the least amount of stress. So having a step-by-step plan for my entire season and knowing at a glance what needs to happen next alleviates so much stress, and it lets me focus on the enjoyment I get from working in my plants and digging in the dirt. It also makes it so if there's a problem with weather or insect pests or diseases and something happens to a crop, I have a plan for exactly what comes next. I'm not left at a loss for what to do. Plus, we rely heavily on canned and frozen vegetables from the garden throughout the winter, so I need to know that not only am I planting enough for us to eat fresh, but that I'll also have enough at the right time to can or to freeze. It's a bit of a dance, and I like being able to glance in my garden journal and at my calendar and know exactly what's coming next without having to think about it when I have 7 million other things going on. Now, you heard me encourage you on a previous episode to get on the wait list for this course so that you hear first about all the details. But what I didn't tell you is that if you're on that list, not only will you know first about the course details, you'll be able to register a day before anyone else. And when you register, you'll have exclusive access to a free download that nobody else will get. This freebie is actually something that's going to be for sale in my shop later on next month, but you will get it for free, but only if you get on the wait list by going to justgrowsomethingpodcast.com/plan and register for the course when it opens. Add your email there, I'll put you on the list, and you'll get early bird registration and a free bonus download when you register. And there's another opportunity there that I'm not even going to tell you about, but it's worth even more than that free download. So trust me, you want all of this. I will leave a link in the show notes to justgrowsomethingpodcast.com/plan to get on that wait list. You have until the end of the day, Saturday the 21st, to get on that list, January 21st. So, what do you get with this course? You get 6 modules with 13 lessons full of videos and references and downloads that walk you through each phase of the planning process. You also get access to an online community, not a Facebook group, a designated community exclusively for course students where you can ask questions, exchange ideas, and compare notes. I will be in there for a full month with you answering any questions you have. You will also meet with me as a group once a week for 3 weeks to get a walkthrough of the modules and ask questions and get feedback. And if you can't attend those sessions, they will be recorded, so you'll get the playback. And those videos will be posted inside the course materials for any student to go back and review. Plus, the course will be available to you for as long as I offer it. So you can continue to go back year after year and repeat these steps to complete your garden plan every year. And you'll get any and all updates that I do to the course. So any new videos I add or reference materials or resources, you'll get them no matter what. And you'll continue to have access to the community year-round to collaborate with other students. And the best thing about all of this is that I give you a guarantee. When you enroll in the course, you get a full 24 hours to review the materials. If you don't feel like it's going to work for you, you get to email me within that 24 hours and request a refund, and I will give you your money back. I would just ask for some feedback as to what didn't work for you so I can continue to improve the course. Because this is just the beginning, my gardening friends. I want to create a whole catalog of short courses you can use over and over again for years to come. And it all starts with a plan, right? Okay, so that's the down and dirty of the course that launches next week. Get on the wait list for the Plan Like a Pro garden planning course at justgrowsomethingpodcast.com/plan to get early bird registration, the exclusive download when you register, and the surprise bonus. And I will see you back here again on Tuesday for another regular episode of the podcast.